semester. First, a story. A few years after I was born, my dad met a stranger who was new to our small town. From the beginning, Dad was fascinated with this enchanting newcomer, and soon invited him to live with our family. The stranger was quickly accepted and was around from then on. As I grew up, I never questioned his place in my family. In my young mind, he had a special niche. My parents, they were complementary instructors. Mom taught me good from evil. Dad taught me to obey. But our stranger, he was a storyteller. He would keep us spellbound for hours on end with adventures, mysteries, comedies. If I wanted to know anything about politics or history or science, he always knew the answers. He knew the past. He understood the present, and he even seemed to be able to predict the future. He took my family to the first major baseball league. He made me laugh, and he made me cry. The stranger never stopped talking. Don't wonder where I get it. But Dad didn't seem to mind. Sometimes Mom would get up quietly while the rest of us were shushing each other to hear what the stranger had to say, and she would go to the kitchen for peace and quiet. Today I wonder if maybe she was praying that our stranger would leave. Dad ruled our household with a certain moral conviction, but the stranger never felt obligated to honor them. Profanity, for example, was not allowed in our home at all, not from our friends, any visitors, or us. After our longtime visitor stayed even longer, he became more daring, however, and even got away with four-letter words that burned my ears, made my dad squirm, and my mother blush. My dad didn't permit the liberal use of alcohol, but the stranger encouraged us to try it on a regular basis. He made cigarettes look cool, cigars manly, and pipes distinguished. He talked freely, much too freely, about sex. His comments were sometimes blatant, sometimes suggestive, and generally embarrassing. I now know that my early concepts about relationships were influenced strongly by the stranger. Time after time, he opposed my father. He opposed the values of my parents, yet he was seldom rebuked and never asked to leave. More than 50 years have passed since this stranger moved in with our family. He has blended right in and is not nearly as fascinating as he first was. Still, if you walked into my parents' living room today, you would still find him sitting over in the corner, waiting for someone to listen to him and watch him draw his pictures. His name? Well, we just call him TV. Fellow Toastmasters, this is what our world has come to. Growing up in my household as a child, we had a television that came on every evening as soon as the sun went down. However, until then, we played outside. Remember when those things happened? And then we did our homework, and then we had dinner. In my own home, I raised my kids the same way. TV comes on after dark, and not before then. I can't tell you that I'm perfect at filtering this television. My son, who's 4, asked me just the other day, "Daddy, are ex-Tina Christina Aguilera from The Voice, are her breasts real?" This is a wake-up call to me. Wake up, guys, wake up! Our 4-year-olds are asking about breast implants, and our 16-year-olds are, well, let's just say that according to Wikipedia, 56% of teen girls have had a sexual encounter. Wake up. We need to get back to the basics. Everyone in here probably knows by now that I'm a dad. I haven't done it perfect. Just recently, I found out that my 16-year-old has a girl pregnant, and I will be a granddad. This was a little diffident in him telling me this. So, am I pointing fingers at them? No, not at all. I'm just as much to blame. What I am trying to do, though, is at least shed some light on the fact that TV, cell phones, iPods, computers are parenting our children better than I am, at least. The story that I told you earlier in my talk isn't a story from me, or even from someone that I know, but I think I can tell you that, at least for me, it's a very eye-opening lesson. What is that, you might ask? Well, I'm going to try something, and I'm going to encourage that y'all might try the same thing. My family cannot live without television. That would almost be the worst form of punishment I could possibly give to my children. However, I am going to cancel my cable so that all they will get will be the local channels. I'm going to do this for 1 month. Why? Because I'm going to get back to the basics. I'm going to take my kids to the park. I'm going to go on picnics. I'm going to be the father that I used to be, not the father that I am today. So that maybe my 4-year-old, when he is 16, won't come in and, in the words of Britney Spears, say, "Daddy, oops, I did it again." Madam Toastmaster.